Let's go. Math. Finished or? I cannot extend this any longer. Before you guys laugh at where it says introduction to calculators, yes, I'm gonna have to introduce calculators to you guys. Sorry. But some people are like, I know what a calculator is.
We really have to put that on there.
You don't. What do you mean they?
What, like,
I did.
you have to put that. like,
Yes.
It's mandated.
You know why I have to put this on? So since I'm gonna skip all this anyway. Why do I have to put it on? Because in the state exam, they allow you a very simple calculator. In fact, I don't want anybody to use their phones. You cannot use your phone in the state exam.
So,
No. In fact, in the state exam, nowadays, they don't even allow you to
for your-
bring your own. If you do online, it's on-screen calculator that's provided with the software that they have. And if you do in person, it's either the on-screen or they'll give you a simple calculator.
Oh, so you don't need to bring them?
You don't need to bring one. A lot of people were bringing one and then somehow there was notes.
Cheating?
Yeah, cheating. So state of New Jersey, most of the PSI locations, they don't allow you to bring calculators at all. If you bring one, they'll confiscate or tell you to put in the locker that they have there, and they'll provide you their own. All right. So that means you guys need to go back to basics. And yes, that's why I have introduction to calculators. Lacey, I assume they give you a scrap paper. Yes, they'll give you one piece of paper in the if you're there in person. If you do it online, you're allowed to bring a piece of paper. But I'm glad you brought that question up because what they'll do, for those of you that intend to do the state exam online, they'll ask you, and pay attention to me because this is serious. It will happen in my exam too. And I kicked somebody out this Saturday because of it. They will, listen, I have no pleasure in kicking people out of class. No pleasure whatsoever. Or kicking out of an exam. No pleasure whatsoever. But this happened on Saturday. The person that was taking the exam, we have a camera on you guys, we see you. My exam is similar to the state exam in terms of not only the questions, but also the procedures. So you start the exam, you have to scan the room, show me that there's nothing around you. And state exam is way pickier than I am. Any noise, and they're like, what's that? You keep on looking down or looking away, there's an alert automatically to the proctor that says, hey, check it out, please. What's going on over there? Then the proctor reviews. And if it looks like you're cheating, they'll ask you again, do a 360 of the room. If somebody walks in the room, automatically, you're kicked out, automatically. So the person that I kicked out this Saturday, not only spent most of the time like this, okay, like looking at notes, it sounded like that, right? Or it looked like that. Not only that, there was people walking around. And this person, after a while, like I guess got comfortable that I didn't say anything. You know, after a while, it starts a full-blown conversation for 2 minutes plus. I know it's 2 minutes plus because at 2 minutes and like 30 seconds, whatever, I kicked the person out. And it took another 5 minutes or so for that person to call the school.
Call and say what?
And say, oh, could you please let me back in? I got kicked out for some reason.
Mm,
Yeah, and then I explained, and then that person apologized, and can I get back? And I said, nope. Especially because the Saturday exam it's only from 10 to 2. So you start at 10. If I let you resume the exam, then it goes beyond 2 p.m. Does that make sense? So I treat my exam the same way as the state. It's to prepare, everything I do is to prepare you guys for the state. Everything I do is to prepare you for the state. Do you think the state exam, they're going to be like, hey guys, cameras on? No. The moment there's a sound, the moment your camera goes off, the moment you get up to go away, you get kicked out.
So for 4 hours, you can't.
You can if you let them know, hey, I need to go to the bathroom. You're allowed 1 5-minute break. Okay, to go to the bathroom. Yes, you can. When you get back, guess what you have to do? Scan everything, including scanning your pockets to make sure you got nothing in your pockets. Scanning under the desk to make sure there's nothing under the desk. 360, make sure there's no cameras, dual screens or anything or anybody assisting you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You cannot use your phone for the test. It has to be a computer. And it cannot be a Chromebook. It has to be either Windows or it has to be a iOS, so Apple. Okay. If your camera is attached to your monitor, how you scan the room? So you let them know that, Lacey. You let them know that it's attached to it. What's going to happen is they'll have extra attention to what you're doing. So usually, if you can pre-scan the room, they know that there's nothing there. They'll walk away, and then they just wait for alerts, right? If you have your camera is attached to the screen,
They sit there and watch.
oh, they sit there and watch every single step of you, everything you do. Okay. The school test, we have somebody looking at you the whole time. Yeah, it's either me or I pay somebody to be there the whole time. I prefer not to be there because a lot of people are like, oh, it's Bruno. Bruno, can you please help me out? This, not, nope. Sorry. All right. So exams, you cannot be driving. Exams, you cannot be shopping around. Exams, you cannot get up to go to the bathroom without letting the proctor know, and you only get 1 5-minute break. My exam or state exam. Lighting, very important, guys. You know how I'm always picking on you guys about being able to see you? Again, it's not about me. It's about you, because when you go to the state exam, if they cannot see your face, you don't even start the exam.
The
if
school
the-
exam, you take in person.
If you want to, yeah. The AI, which is an artificial intelligence program, right? The AI is scanning the image constantly. So if it's too dark, okay, if it's too dark in your room, then any movement you make might look like you're getting a phone or somebody's talking to you, like shadows, right? So what most of you have there, which is very dark, it will not fly for the state exam or ours. All right. Not only that, there's another thing. So I'm letting you guys know everything before I start. There's still some people joining us. Not only that, I forgot what I was gonna say. The state exam. What was I gonna say? Tell me.
I don't know, you're talking about cameras, lighting.
Camera, lighting, action. No. Lost it. Anyway, so the point is, if I've been nagging at you this whole time, it's really not about me. It's the state that requires, or you're gonna fail miserably when you go to, because of frustration, when you go to the state exam. All right. If you have people walking around, if you have bad light conditions, like we cannot see you, they will not even allow you to start the exam. All right. So it is very, very important. Now, Shakira, if you don't have a laptop, do you have to go to a site? Well, you are talking to me. Are you on the phone or are you on the laptop? Alexis, you're right. You cannot move your lips or put your hands to your mouth. You cannot cover your mouth, because that would be like you're whispering to somebody else if the mic does not capture. And believe me, it's even worse when you do the mortgage one. The mortgage, before you start, if you cannot hear them, then your volume settings are off. They'll tell you, hey, reset, come back when you can hear us. Believe me, I went through that. I had to reschedule my exam a couple of times because I forgot to adjust the settings. And for the mortgage exam, it's $100. It's not $35 like you're paying or whatever, you know? Anyway, so Shakira, if you're doing on the phone and you need to do the state exam. Oh, I know where I was going to say it before. But if you're doing the state exam, if you guys want, you can come here. I'll lend you a computer that you can use if you don't have one for the day of the exam. That's how bad we are to you guys.
So bad.
That it's beyond the school, right? It doesn't count for us anymore, but I'm still allowing you to come in and do your state exam so you can pass. So we have 2 locations where you can do that. We have here and we have in Old Bridge. Here in Newark or Old Bridge. So you just let me know and I'll schedule something for you if it's away from here, okay? You can do it in person here for the school exam, or even the state exam, you can go to it in person at a location they provide. Now, Alexis is talking about it's a pain, it freezes. So that's the other thing. You got to make sure your computer is not a slow computer, so that sucks. If you don't have a way to fix it, or if you don't have money to get a better computer. That's why I offer the place here. But you also have to be close to your internet. So if your router is in the kitchen, as an example, and you're all the way in the bedroom, it will be even harder for you to take this. So you have to be as close to the router as possible. And if you can, connect it. Router extenders aren't always good. They drop a lot depending on the extender you have. They drop the signal a lot. So if you can, instead of Wi-Fi, try to plug it in directly the day of the exam. Otherwise, again, guys, you're more than welcome to come here, schedule, let me know the date, and I'll coordinate for you to use either one of the conference rooms or the school. Okay? All right. No, that was it about the internet. And so not only the lighting, the whole environment around, nobody can be around you. So no kids, no pets, no nothing. Right, Zoraida?
No pets. You can't get mad if my dog is there.
Oh, yeah. Nothing can be around you. Nothing. You have to be in the room by yourself 100%. Like I said, even the lighting, if there's shadows, automatically they drop you. Shakira, for both. My school exam is mimicking the state exam. So whatever you're going to experience in the state exam, I try to get you ready for that beforehand. I don't want anybody to go there and be surprised about it. Does that make sense? I pay a lot to have that software just for the to do the exam online. So it mimics what the state is. Okay. All right. So let's go. Introduction to calculators. You cannot use your phone, as I said. You have to use the computer calculator, or a very simple calculator, or whatever they provide you in their browser calculator, right? State licensing exams allows you to use dogs talk nowadays. There you go. See, that was for you. Alexis said that for you. All right. Alexis, do dogs talk? Watch everybody's Alexa turn on. It's been a while since I do this. All right. So they provide you a basic calculator, guys, by the testing center, either in physical form or on the screen. The calculator provider has the following functions, only these functions: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and percentage. Guys, it's very important that you know how to use a basic calculator. We're so used to using our smartphones, right? We can put a whole formula into the smartphone and just gives you the spits the answer, right? Yeah, not for state exam. Okay, so state exam, basic, basic, basic. Okay. Now, how to use a percent key. If you use a percent key on calculators, yes, and I have this here because every calculator is different. If you guys do not know, if you have an Android phone, calculates one way. If you have a iPhone, calculates a different way. Androids calculate the same way as basic calculators. iPhones give you a headache. There's an extra step on the iPhone, sorry. If you use a percent key on calculators to solve percentage problems, you should consult the user's manual to learn how to use that key correctly. Some calculators require the use of either the percentage or the equal key, but never both together. Other calculators require the use of both the percentage and equal key. So iPhones, for instance, you got to click the percentage and you have to click equal, otherwise it doesn't take you to the next step. Okay. No matter which calculator you choose, you should read the manual. So, for example, if a property sold, and we're not doing math yet, I'm just giving you an example. If the property sold for $100,000, 7% commission was paid to the real estate agent, how much did the agent receive? There's two ways to determine the answer to this question. Number one, 7% is converted to the decimal, and you enter the $100,000 into the calculator, followed by the X or multiplication key, 0.07 and the equal to obtain 7,000. Or you enter 100,000, then press the X for multiplication key, number 7% key, and your calculator now displays automatically $7,000. So the question is complete. If 0.07 appears when you press the percent key, you must press the equal key to complete the calculation. The use of the percent key converts the calculator to the correct decimal place, and the placement of the decimal is uncontested. You can either convert the percentage to decimal or use the percent key to perform the conversion. Now, again, this is just to start the chapter, just getting familiar with the calculators. And why is this here? Because over 7 years teaching this class, there's always somebody that says, I didn't get the same result. And then we go step by step on the use of the calculator. And sometimes it's as simple, believe it or not, simple as here I have, you guys cannot see it's far away, but I have a percent key and I have the division key right next to each other. I've had people that hit the percent key instead of division key, or division instead of the percent key. That's one of the things. I've had people where it converts automatically to 0.07 as it says here. They're like, oh, that's not the result I got. Yeah, you got to press equal on your calculator to get the final result. Does that make sense, guys? So I know for some of you, it's like, oh, come on, this is going to be it. Yeah, it is. I'm going to bring it down to basics. Yes, because when you go to the state exam, the basics will matter. Okay. Zoraida like, good. Oh, Zoraida, I'm not going to teach you 1 + 1. Okay. And when I said basics, okay, it's how to use a calculator, how to convert decimals to percentage and vice versa, stuff like that. And then the most important part is understanding the questions. Okay. So linear measurements. Sorry. Somebody checking into my Airbnb right now and just want to make sure they're there. All right. Linear measurements. As the name says, it's a line, right? Now, you guys know that this is a lot, right? Can we talk on the break? Are you coming here? Lacey, no. I will address the cheat sheet later, okay? All right, so linear measurements. If you guys look right here, there's 4 lines, right? So we follow this line, there's one measurement, another measurement, another measurement, another measurement. So these are linear measurements, and this is different from area, which is the middle of it. Okay, good so far? Great. So, as it says here, linear units include foot, yard, inch, and mile. When the terms foot, linear foot, running foot, and front foot are used, you must determine the total length of the dimension, regardless of whether it was measured in a straight line, crooked line, or curved line. All right, you know this right here is the abbreviation for feet, right? Therefore, 12 feet is written this way. And inches, oh, I'm sorry. This is the abbreviation for inches. All right, I'm going to put this right there. Abbreviation for inches, therefore 12 inches is equivalent to that right there. Be good. Everybody knows this, right? Okay. Shanice is like, yes, we know that. All right, front foot or frontage. Okay, this is very, very important. Do you guys know what front foot is? It's not the foot that is in front, right? Front foot is it's a distance or a dimension in the area. So when the term front foot is used, it refers to the number of units on a lot's frontage. The frontage is usually the street frontage. Okay, so that means this is the lot, okay? And there's another lot over here. And then there's another lot over here. And this is the street. So when we say front foot, we are referring to this right here. Whatever's facing the street. Okay? Front foot is whatever is facing the street. We also call it width, but I'm going to show you in a second as well. But if the lot is on the river, lake, or ocean, it could be also water frontage. It all depends on what we're trying to determine. For state exam, most of the times they just talk about front foot as street footage. Okay. Now, how do we convert one kind of linear measurement to another? Here are some examples, guys. I'm not going to go through all of them. I laid this all out, just like feeding food to a baby. Okay. If you guys see this math chapter compared to what I used to teach, I try to break it down as simple as possible. I hope you guys like it. I hope it's self-explanatory. So you got some measurements here. 12 inches is 1 foot. So if you want to figure out how many feet you got in something, you divide the inches by 12. That's it. So 144 inches divided by 12 equals 12 feet, right? All right, so 36 inches is actually 3 feet or 1 yard, the same right here if you see it. 36 inches is 3 feet. They both are 1 yard. Okay, they're exactly the same. All right, numbers you need to start knowing. You may have to convert during the exam. That's why you need to get familiar with all these conversions. I'm not going to go through every single one of them because, you know, there's no need right now. I already laid it out for you. Okay. But you need to know that 1 mile is 5,280 feet. You need to know that. Okay. Therefore, if you have more feet, like 10,560 feet in the question, and they ask you how many miles you have or how many square miles, because that's what we're trying to figure out, let's say, you need to convert back, right? So if it's 10,560 feet divided by what 1 mile is, 5,280, that's 2 miles, and so on. Rods are not heavily tested, but I still kept it here. I was going to remove it, but I said, you know what? In some states or some areas, even of New Jersey, you might still use rods. We don't really do that anymore. And by the way, for a lot of you, I know this is difficult, what we're going to talk about. For me, it was. Still kind of is. Believe it or not, after 21 years living here in the United States, it's still difficult to me to measure everything in 12s and crazy measurements versus 10s, right? You got used to it?
No, I'm saying it's the stupidest
Yeah.
system. Like,
Yeah, we're one of the only countries, like very few countries, probably like not even 5, they use the imperial system. Everybody else uses the metric system. The whole world uses the metric system. The United States says, you know what? We like to be different. Everybody should follow ours. Let's do everything in 12s. Let them go crazy with the math.
it's not even like everything is in 12. Like some stuff is just not in 12.
No, I know.
3 feet is a yard. Like what is
5,280 feet is a mile. Like why?
why?
Why? Couldn't it be 5,000? Let's make it 5,000 even.
Like
Or 1,000.
Is all round numbers,
Yeah.
nice and clean.
No room for error with a metric system.
Crazy.
Anyway, sorry for all the Americans. Don't feel bad. I'm not trying to talk bad about the country's math, but it is a lot easier when you have 10s. All right. Example. This is a rectangular lot that measures 50 feet by 150 feet, right? The cost to fence this lot is priced per linear or running foot. How many linear or running feet will be used to calculate the price of the fence? Okay. If it says it's 50 by 150, automatically, guys, you need to remember that it's a rectangle. Okay, automatically, unless they gave you some crazy other numbers. But if it's simply 50 by 150, that means both sides are equal, front and back. So this is frontage or width or first number. So this is the first number. right? They're equal, front and back. And that means that the top and bottom number are equal as well. And this is the length or depth of the lot. All right. What I highly recommend you guys to do when you're calculating area is to draw. You don't know, like sometimes it's like, oh, Bruno, that's stupid. I don't need to. 50 by 150, I got it. You don't know how many mistakes you guys make by not drawing. Once you visualize, and that's what I'm going to try to bring to you guys in this chapter. Once you visualize what you're trying to define, it'll be a lot easier. So because we're talking about linear foot or running foot, how many running feet can we calculate? Well, it's this one plus this one plus this one plus this one. So 50 plus 150 plus 50 plus 150. We have 400 linear or running feet or front feet. Okay. So here's an example. Let's say a parcel of land is for sale for $5,000 per front foot. What will it cost to purchase this parcel of land if the dimensions are 120 by 200 feet? Okay. Now 120 is the frontage. Why? Because it's the first dimension. It's the width. Okay. First dimension given. So if it's per front foot only, it says front foot only. Do we need the other ones? No. This is where we fail most of the times, not reading properly. Do we need the other ones? No. Front foot is only 120. So we need 120 front feet times that 5,000 right there. This lot is $600,000. Questions? Yes.
This the lot is from the river lake or ocean. So the front page,
I'm sorry, say it again.
I'm saying the lot is from the river lake ocean. So the front page is gonna be.
It could be different, but don't worry about that. In the exam, they're not going to ask.
Okay.
They would tell you that it's a river or anything like that, but I haven't seen a question like that in the exam. I provide info because I have to provide info, but then I'll explain to you what's in the exam. Exam is a question like this, if anything. Okay. Are you okay? Do you need anything?
Getting over sickness. You were coming at me so bad that I wasn't here, and now I'm here.
It's all Alexa's fault.
It's Alexis's fault.
She's the one that kept on asking, hey, if I'm here, why isn't Masha here? I'm sick. Why
here
isn't
and-
she's at home?
So about this building. So where do you get the front from?
The frontage?
Highway or from?
All right, so there you have to look at the lot. We're not looking at the lot right now. But if you look in the map, you see the lot, right? Traditionally, the frontage will be where the door is. Where's the door to this building? It's on Oliver. That's why this is Oliver Street. But sometimes it happens where the door, even though the address, especially being a corner lot, that's a great question, being a corner lot, guys, don't have to worry about this for the exam, but in real life, being a corner lot, sometimes they have two addresses. Okay? So this could literally be the frontage, could be Route 21 if there's a main door there as well. All right? So no, it's difficult. You have to look at the map and see what they intended for it. I'll tell you this because I was trying to find a property for sale not too long ago in Kearney. And this property I was trying to find, the address was on, it was like 28 Halsted, I think it was, right? But the USPS address is 28 Halsted. The tax map address was the crossing street, which I don't remember right now. And it was like 160 something, whatever address. Because it's a corner lot, sometimes it's difficult. You want to know the good news, Fernando? You don't have corner lots in the exam. All right, so the frontage is whatever facing the road, and you should be good. Okay. area. So we went from linear, now it's the shaded part, which is called area. The area is a two-dimensional surface of an object. Area is quoted in square units or acres. This is very important. Okay, very, very important. It's quoted in square units or acres. For state exam purposes, it will always be brought down to square units. Okay, so make sure you mark it, put a note. For state exam purposes and school exam purposes, it will always be brought down into square units. So square feet is the common measurement. Okay. Now, a linear measure multiplied by another linear measure always equals a square measure. Feet times feet equals square feet. Miles times miles equals square miles. Yards times yards equals square yards, and so on. I know you guys know this. I know it's the basics. All right, don't roll your eyes like you got this, you know. We will look at calculating the area of squares, rectangles, and triangles. And squares and rectangles are four-sided objects. You guys know this, basic, right? All four sides of a square are the same length. Opposite sides of a rectangle are the same length. A triangle is a three-sided object, and the three sides of a triangle could be the same length or two or different or three different lengths. Usually, when two dimensions are given, assume they refer to a figure that is a rectangle unless told otherwise. Okay. All right, so how do we convert one kind of area measurement to another? You got to get familiar with these, at least the top ones. You got to get familiar with it. 144 square inches equal 1 square foot, which is 12 by 12, right? 12 by 12 is square inches. 144, so it's a square foot. You have square yard, you have 9 square feet is 1 square yard. 1 acre, another reference that you got to have. 43,560 square feet equals 1 acre. Does anybody remember this one?
Yes,
You do? Oh, well, you woke up like, wow, boom.
it was on the
It was on the
land descriptions chapter.
It was on the legal descriptions chapter, yes.
One lot is not one
Mm.
lot, one square on the.
One section, yes. It's the rectangular survey system. Thank you, Shakira. But what is one section? It's one section of what? The township, yes. Very good. So you guys need to remember that there's 640 acres in a section, right? And that means 1 square mile. How do you determine the area of a square or a rectangle? This is the formula. Width times length equals area. Width times length equals area. How many square feet are in the room of 15 by 30? Well, the first number is always the width, as you can see. 15 times 30 long, that's the length, right? Or depth. So if you put in your calculators 15 times 30, you got 450 square feet. Simple so far, you guys good? All right, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. So let me ask you, because this might be a question in the school or state exam. Not exactly this question, but something similar. If carpet costs $57 a square yard to install, $57 a square yard to install. It's right there. 57 to install. Why are you doing math already? I didn't get anywhere. $57 per square yard to install. What would it cost to carpet the room in the previous example? In the previous example, we said the area was 450 square feet, correct? All right. Because we're trying to figure out yards, right? We have here the conversion. yards. 9 square feet is 1 square yard, right? 9 square feet is 1 square yard. So if we got 57 square feet, we need to know how many square yards we got. Why do we need to know that? Because the price is per square yard. So we need to convert to square yards. 450 divided by 9 is 50 square yards. That's what we got. 50 square yards of carpet is what we need. All right. Michelle, make sure you're with me, please. 50 square yards times $57. All right. 2,850 is how much it's going to cost to cover the whole 50 square yards. It was not hard, right? It's just a matter of remembering how to convert the yards, right? All right. How many acres are there in a parcel of land that measures 450 by 484? Now you need to know how to convert acreage, right? So if it's 484 times 450, then we have 217,800 square feet. How many square feet do we have in an acre? 43,560. So we have to divide this number, square feet, right, by 43,560. And now we know we got 5 acres of land. Okay. I guarantee you there's questions that involve this where you're going to need the 43,560, especially to figure out how many lots you can build. If I asked you, as an example, if I asked you, in a 450 by 484 lot with a minimum of 2 acres per lot, okay, how many lots can you build? Now, we already did the math. We know we got to 5 acres of land, but each lot has to be 2 acres. How many lots can we build?
2.
2. No, 2. That's it. You cannot have half a lot. It's still a lot. It's a parcel of land. There's no halves here.
No halfsies.
No halfsies, right? Especially when the city says minimum lot size is 2 acres. That means whatever's left over is extra. So it could be 2.5 acres. That's not a problem. But how many lots can you build? Only 2. Okay. If the minimum is 2 acres, that's the minimum. Okay. All right. Let me know if you guys are good so far. Let me know in the chat, please. You got it. Say it in the chat. Tell me, I got it.
Got it.
I said in the chat.
I
Well,
got it in the chat.
Log in the chat. Very good. Very good. All right. So Shanice says, I guess I got it. I guess doesn't work. Too many numbers to remember.
Whistle.
Sorry. Well, if you guys see, you just need to really know the first line of each. Okay. Right here. We need to know, like here, 9 square feet is 1 square yard. 43,560 square feet is 1 acre. You can barely remember your phone number. In today's day and age, it's tough. Right? Because we don't call ourselves. And we just share our contacts. Right? Hey, what's your number? And I share my contact to you, and that's it. You got it. So yeah, but you need to remember this stuff. Now, this is the only thing you can memorize, Shanice. I do have a math cheat sheet. I'm going to show it to you guys later. It is in the student portal, so you should be able to download it from there, and I'll explain it better when we get there. Right now, we're just going through basics. All right, how to determine the area of a triangle. Base times height divided by 2 is the area of a triangle. Or you can remember to be one less formula. you can remember that a triangle is half of a square or a rectangle. So width times length divided by 2 equals area. That also works. And this is for reference purposes only. For anybody that's studied math or is a math teacher or anything like that, yeah, don't kill me. I'm just trying to make it easy for my students. Okay. So it is half a rectangle. You want me to prove it to you? If I close the box, rectangle. Okay, what's missing? It's missing half of it. That's why we divide by 2. Okay. Shanice said no. What did you say no to? Shanice, what did you say no to?
For cat stuff on the keyboard.
For cat stuff on the keyboards? I don't need to prove it. You believe in me? All right, great. You want me to just end the class, Shanice? Is that what it is? Like, I believe you. Keep going. Is that what it was? That's how I felt. All right. So, but the reason why I like to draw this, I do in every class, I like to draw the closing of the triangle. So everybody visualizes. Doesn't matter how the triangle is shaped. It does not matter. Because once you close it, it's still a rectangle, which could be a square or a rectangle, as we know. All right. It does not matter the shape. It will always be a square rectangle. So we divide by 2. Why do I say this? Because it's a lot easier for you to remember width times length than base times height. Just saying. One formula, half of a rectangle. So how many square feet are contained in the triangle parcel of land that is 50 feet on the base and 150 feet high? So we have 150 on the base times 50 high. It's 7,500 square feet. And then you divide by 2. So this is a 3,750 square feet lot. Good. Okay.
There's a typo in the next.
Isn't it your job?
Well, it's not really a typo, it's just it's a math calculation error. 350 times 270 is 94,500. Not divided by 2.
I forgot divided by 2.
Um,
You're right. I missed it. Divided by 2. Yeah. Thank you so much. So you see, Shanice, this is why you shouldn't trust me. Masha just found the typo. All right. So how many acres you have in the 3-sided tract of land that is 350 on the base, 270 high? So 350, I have to redo this, times 270 equals 94,500. Okay. That's square feet. We're trying to find how many acres. But I forgot, and this is my bad, I forgot to divide by, nope, I forgot to divide by 2. So once you divide by 2, this number changes. 47 to 50. And now you divide by the acres. So now it's this. 1 point?
1.08.
So this answer here is 1.08. All right. So I apologize for that. Glad we caught it. Thank you, Masha. Do you have the extra or no?
I do that. There's a
Okay.
couple.
How about
It's not
throw
your best
something
work,
at you?
I gotta tell you.
Gonna throw something at you. Weren't you doing great at home? Like you come here and say that is not my best work. Seriously?
Yeah. I mean,
So- All right. Shanice says, now I trust Masha.
Thank you, Shanice. I appreciate
how to determine the area of an irregular shape. So we talked about squares and rectangles, obviously, and we talked about triangles. To compute the area of an irregular room or parcel of land, you divide the shape into regular rectangles, squares, or triangles. Next, you compute the area of each regular figure and then add the areas together to obtain the total area. For example, what is the area of the hallway shown in the figure below? We have 5 as a height. Then on top, we got 10. And below, we have 18. What is the area? So the first thing we got to do is make a rectangle and a triangle. So we separate the shapes from an irregular shape to a known shape, right? So that's why we cut it right here. Good so far? Okay. The next thing we do is calculate each area separate. So we compute the area of the rectangle, and that's width times length, or length times width, right? So 5 times 10 equals 50 square feet. Is it correct, Masha? Okay. And then and then we compute the area of the triangle. So a little hint here, you got to find the missing number, because here for the triangle, there's something missing. The only thing we got is 5. You got to find the missing number. This is why I was showing you that you got to close the box, right? That it's a rectangle. If I close the box, then the top would be the same as the bottom. So the top will be 18. What is the difference between 18 and 10? 8. So what's missing here is the 8. Very good.
5 by 8.
So now we got 5 by 8 divided by 2. So 40 divided by 2, and it's 20 square feet. Is that correct, Masha? Okay. Yeah.
It is,
I need to check with my editor over here. So
apparently.
hey, I just want to make sure. All right. I asked that from the beginning from everybody. If you guys see anything, listen, we're all human. I'll gladly correct all the mistakes. So now that we have 2 separate areas, is that what we need? We have 2 separate areas. We have the area of the rectangle. We have the area of the triangle. Is that what we need?
You have to add them together.
No, we need to add them because we need the whole area. So 50 plus 20, the total area, 70 square feet. Okay. All right, we're done with area. Now it's getting exciting. We're going to go into fractions, decimals, and percentages. What was that?
It's making me excited. Oh,
Isn't it?
oh my God, fractions.
Oh, now,
Decimals, my favorite.
now it's better. Now it's better. That excitement is way better. Connie, what's wrong?
Can't contain her excitement.
She can't contain her excitement. She's like, hate fractions. It's okay. I hate them too. That's why we're not going to talk much about them. And in the state exam, there's not many fractions other than halves and quarters. So nobody's going to talk about 3/8 and 1/16 or anything like that. Nope. All right. So I'm keeping as simple as possible here with the fractions and moving on. So fractions will sometimes be used in real estate math problems. Because calculators may be used in most licensing examinations, it is best to convert fractions to decimals. It's simple. You convert a fraction to a decimal, you divide the numerator, which is the top number, by the denominator, which is the bottom number. For example, that's how simple it is. 7 divided by 8, that's what we do. If this is a fraction of 7/8, 7 divided by 8 is 0.875. 11/8 is, I should have put a space here. 11/8 is 11 divided by 8, or 1.375. And if it's, I'm sorry, no, it is right.
I would have told you, Bruno.
You would have
I would have
called it
told
out.
you.
11.5 here is 1 divided by 2. So there's the fraction first. 1 divided by 2 is half. Plus that 11, it's 11.5. And that's how you convert them to decimals. Divide the top number by the bottom number. It's a decimal, period. Move on. Okay. Once they've been converted to decimals, other calculations can easily be completed using the calculator. Note that many calculators automatically display 0 before the decimal point. Now, percentage. Percentage means per 100, right? Percent. Why couldn't I be your math teacher in high school? Because I didn't have Masha to correct my mistakes. Plus, I really don't want to do public school. I was offered, but nope. All right. Percent. Percent is per 100 or per 100 parts. So every time you see percent, you got to remember it's per hundreds. Okay. Now the whole or total always represents 100%. The whole or total is always 100%. So 5% is 5 parts of 100, or 5 divided by 100, which is 0.05 or 1/20. Now, here's what I want to point out. Another way to look at this, because it's always based on 100, because it's always based on 100, right? If it's 5%, what we're going to do, I'm going to show you that again in a little bit. What we're going to do is drop the percent sign. It's based on 100, right? 100 means one whole. I just said that, right? I just said it right here. The whole or total is 100. So that means that 100 equals 1, correct? So that means that 5% is 0.05. Because 100 equals 1. You got a little dot right there, 0.05. And the next example is 75% or 75 parts of the 100 parts, or 75 divided by 100, which is 0.75 or 3/4. So in the same concept, 75 right there. It's based on 100. 100 is 1. So if we have less than 1, it's 0 point whatever we're addressing. And finally, 120%. 120% means we got 100. So one whole and 20 parts of another whole, right? So 120 parts of 100 parts, or 120 divided by 100 is 1.2. So in this example, again, what do we have? 1, 2, 0. Because we have one whole part plus 20 of the next one. Good so far? This will come in handy in an example later on. All right, how do we convert percentages to decimals? You move the decimal 2 places to the left and drop the percent sign, okay? To convert a decimal to a percentage, you move the decimal 2 places to the right and add the percent sign. So I call this dancing the bachata. It's literally 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right. That's it. You want to know percentages to decimals? You dance bachata. At least the basic steps. Okay? There's more to it, but for those that dance bachata, that know bachata, there's more steps. I get it. But when you start teaching somebody, what do you teach? 2 to the left, 2 to the right. That's it. Unless you got two left feet and you never know where you're going. Micah's like, yeah, right. Come on, you know how it is. It's basic steps. It's like when you're teaching a baby, like 1 step, 2 steps, then you can run in all different directions, diagonal and all that. You can do whatever you want. You can even run backwards if you want. So let me prove it to you. Ready? If you got 20%, you drop this. Bachata is not only 2 to the left and right. There's more. You can go crazy with it. Did you ever dance bachata? I mean, it's not like salsa or anything, but you can do a lot more with bachata. Back in my dancing days, before the the accidents and surgeries and all that stuff, I would teach you. All right, look, we just dropped the percent sign, didn't we? So now it's just 20. What we're gonna do, put a dot right there, and we're gonna move 1, 2. Put another dot right there. If there's a dot and there's nothing else, we need to add a 0. So 20% is 0.20. Okay. 1%. Drop the percent sign. We're going to start right here. 1, 2. Put a dot right there. We got 2 spots to fill. This one and this one. So 1% in your calculator is going to be 0.01. Okay, we're just doing the basic step to the left. That's what we're doing. Okay, I'll teach you next how to go to the right. Okay, I don't want you guys falling, like keep on going to the left and then ground. All right, 12 1/4. So for 12 1/4, unfortunately, we need to convert that quarter. Now, this is a basic one. Not everybody knows what a quarter is, but if you didn't, we already know that you divide the top number by the bottom number. If you put in your calculator 1 divided by 4, it will be 25, right? So now we got the quarter. It's 12 1/4. What do? What do? We drop the percent sign, right? What do we do next?
Move the decimal point.
Dance bachata. Okay. Dance bachata, always. All right. So well, we will have, I'm sorry. I'm the one that started wrong. So from that point, 1, 2, and then 0. So this would be 0.1225. Any questions on how to do the first step of bachata? No questions, we're good. Nadia's like, I do. All right, that was the first step. Ready for the next step? If we go to the left, if you keep on going to the left, where are you going to wind up? No, but where are you going to stop if you keep on going to the left? Either on top of somebody else or on the wall or maybe outside if the door is open, right? So we need to come back to stay on the dance floor. There's no crisscross yet, man. It's not that, no. It's not the cha-cha slide or electric slide or any of those slides, all right? So we got to come back to the right. If you keep going to the left, you're going to be with Romeo, really? Seriously. Zabdi says, I feel like I'm back in high school. Yeah. I'm just in the basic stuff here now. So the next thing we got is converting decimals to percentage. We do the exact opposite. We go to the right. So now we have here a dot, 1, 2. And here we're going to add the percent sign. We have a dot, 1, 2. Because there's an empty slot, we need to put the 0. So that's 90%. Another one. Right there. So we put a dot right there, and this is 8.75 because we're going to add the percent sign. Fairly easy, right? If you don't have a calculator, if you don't know how to do this, well, now you know. It's as simple as dancing the bachata. Gotta remember that. For those of you that don't know how to dance, no matter what people teach you, I'm sorry. All right. We're gonna start complicating things. These were the basics. You guys ready? No? I thought you didn't need this, because like you're catching all these mistakes and stuff, saying there's a
Well,
lot, not my
I
best
saw
words,
this part,
whatever.
but now It's gonna get harder, I don't know.
Oh, now you don't know? Okay, cool. All right, cameras on, please. Cameras, 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 cameras. Yolanda, I cannot see you. Who else? For the most part, everybody's here. Okay, cool. All right, so easy way to remember how to solve percentage problems. And the following three formulas are important for all percentage problems, for all of them. There's only three elements to a percentage problem. Three elements. We have the total, we have the part, and we have the rate. These are the three elements. If you multiply the total by the rate, you get the part, not the acting part, just in case you're wondering. If you get the part and you divide by the rate, you get the total. And if you get the part divided by total equals rate. That's all you need to know. We can go home now, right? I mean, you are home.
We can go home?
Yeah. Probably. That's Alexis.
Only like 2 hours.
Oh, but she was listening in. All right, let me try this. Alexis, can you hear me? Alexis, are you here? Shanice is like, stop. Just give 1 second for her to get up here. Meanwhile, we're trying to get Yolanda back. Can you guys time it for me when that called Yolanda? All right, I see a lot of people on their cell phones. So as a last reminder, when you go take the school and state exam, you cannot be on the cell phone. So if you don't have a computer, you're more than welcome. No, not what I meant. What I meant is attending Zoom from the phone. That's what I meant.
Oh.
So for those of you that are attending Zoom from your phone, if you don't have a computer, you're more than welcome to do the school exam and the state exam here at the school. We have a different location as well. If you need to do it at Old Bridge location, if it's closer to you, then you can go there as well. You just got to let me know, okay? Because for state exam, for school and state exam, you cannot use your phone. Did we lose Alexis?
It's a lot of stairs. Give her a
No,
second.
but did you hear the noise, like
Yeah.
door and all that?
Oh, maybe she wants to bathroom.
She's late. She's not entitled to bathroom.
Oh, poor her.
All right. So we're gonna address here the steering wheel method and the X bar method. So you guys visualize, this is the steering wheel and the X bar method. Did I say break? Masha. $75.
Is that Alexa?
All right. Alexis made it.
And there was accidents and I was trying so hard.
By the way, me too. On the headache, on the hungry, me too. Not even breakfast. You're here. Oh, let me give you the math chat.
It's okay, you didn't miss so much.
I was listening to the whole thing.
See,
but
you're fine.
I couldn't, I'm driving and I'm like in accidents everywhere.
Yeah, all the Alexas were listening at home too, not just you. No, we still got like 1 hour before the break.
1 hour.
I'm just messing with you. Let's go. Come on, let's focus. All right. So the steering wheel method and the X bar method, you guys ready? Cool. So both these methods use the same concept. Visualizing the three formula method, which is this one we just went over, right, is more difficult to remember than the visual image of an X bar, which is the horizontal line and stands for division, and the X brace supporting the horizontal line, which is for multiplication, or the visual image of a steering wheel. So if you're driving, you have a steering wheel, you have a big opening on top and two small at the bottom. So if you always focus on that and remember where these go, the places, right? Then you'll always remember the formula, the three formula, which is parts, total, and rates. Here, the same thing on the X bar method. In either method, I have this in the cheat sheets. In either method, you have P for parts, portion, or net operating income. You got to remember this because this is where you fill in the blanks. Okay. Oh, Yolanda's back. All right. So, thought we lost you, Yolanda. Like we were looking for you for like, I don't know. Guys, how long was it? It was at least 3 hours, right? That we were looking for Yolanda?
It was like 4.
It was 4 hours? Yeah. You guys are seriously. See, they're trying to save you, Yolanda. Look at that. 1 minute, 4 minutes. These people. All right. So we have part, portion, net operating income, and then we have B in this example. Right here, if it's the steering wheel, or we have the total in this example. So B or T is the base of the question, the total of the question, the value in the question, or the whole in the question. Okay. And then we have R for rate, percentage, and interest. Rate, percentage, for interest. There's only 3 elements. These are the 3 elements. It's either part, portion, or income. It's the base of the question, which is the whole thing, or a percentage. That's it. 3 elements. Well, all you got to do is you choose the method that you want and you fill in the blanks. Okay. What I want to show you that's very similar is that in the steering wheel, you also have that bar that represents division. Okay. And then anything here at the bottom represents multiplication. Anything at the bottom represents multiplication. Okay, so any number that falls in the bottom, that's what it is for. Are we good? You want something for a headache? Yeah, you know where the kitchen is. So the cabinet right next to the fridge, the cabinet on top. Yeah. Not to add, Alexis.
Yeah.
Not to add to your headache, but before you have it, just to make sure, they're like $15 a pop.
Go, go, go.
Credit card?
Of course. Credit card, you got to add taxes. So, for the purpose of this illustration, we're going to use only the X bar method from here on. How do we use the X bar method? You have to enter 2 known numbers in the correct places to figure out the third one. If there's 3 elements, they give you 2, you figure out the third, okay? If there's a multiplication sign between 2 items, you multiply to equal the missing item. If the line between the 2 items is horizontal, you divide the equal to equal the missing item. When you divide, the top part always goes into the calculator first and is divided by the bottom part. So similar to the fractions, right? Because it is like a fraction. You have the top number, bottom number. The following examples show how the X bar can be used to solve percentage problems. These examples deal with discounts because everyone can relate to buying an item that's on sale, right? So let's start with this example. Ready? Very simple. Very, very simple. Adam purchased a home that was listed for $500,000. How much did he save if the offer was accepted for 8% less than the asking price? We got an 8% discount. How much did he save? So here we go. Remember, there's 3 items: part, total rate. We're trying to figure out how much. Relax, Stephen. Didn't get there yet. So we're trying to figure out how much is saved. So what part out of the total was taken away, right? The total is 500,000 and the discount rate, again, rate or percentage was 8%. So we just fill in the blanks, right? And there's one missing. If they're at the bottom, because the numbers are at the bottom, we multiply. So 500,000 times 8% equals 0.08 equals $40,000 in savings. All right. Now, guys, so far it's basic questions. I'm just trying to show you how to go through the basics and then how to extract information from the questions. Okay. So for those of you that are mathematicians, experts, and all that stuff, I'm sorry. I do apologize. Go ahead, cough. The next example, Stephen, let me know. So how much did he pay for the house? If he had a $40,000 discount, 500 minus 40 is 460. That's how much he paid. So if we're looking at percentage, and I'm going to start getting you ready for this type of question later on with commissions, right? We had 100%, right? And we took 8%. How much was left? 92,000. So another way to calculate this is by doing this 100% minus 8, 92. So we're still trying to figure out the part or portion. In this case is how much we paid. That's the part or portion, right? Because we had a discount. So 500,000 times 92% of it is 460,000. That's what we paid. So same result. Okay, Stephen, I'm sorry. Just let me know what is it that you saw. I appreciate it. The next example says Sylvia paid $212,500 for a house that was reduced 15%. Okay. How much was it originally listed for? So if we have 100% original price minus 15%, what do we get? 85%. So now we got a number on top. We know how much she paid for it. We don't know how much it's sold for. Okay. So it's the part is 212. And the if you have a number on top and you have a number at the bottom, what do? Divide them, right? So you divide the top by the bottom numbers. And it's 212,500 divided by 0.85. Thank you, Stephen. I know. You got it. It's 250,000. Sorry. The concept is there. I do apologize. I'm going to go over these. It's 19 pages of math. Okay, give me a break. You're only going to have like 6 questions that you have to use a calculator. No, I'm not justifying. I do appreciate, like I said, always bring out anything that you see. I'm showing the concept. Maybe I put a wrong number at one point, and I apologize for that. So that's a listed price. The next one, Adrian paid 98,000. I'm going to do all these math, right? 98,000 for a parcel of land that was marked down from the original price of 121,000. What percentage of discount did Adrian receive? So 121,000 was the original price minus 98,000 of $10 discount price. We got a 22,990 discount. Good so far? Great. So the number we put on top is whatever number represents the part or portion. The $22,000 is a part or portion of the whole thing. Divided by the original price, we're going to get the rate. So because the number is on top and another number is on the bottom, what do? Divide. So we divide the top by the bottom. Is this one correct? All right, 19% discount. All right. Woo. 19% discount. Or you're going to do 98,000, right? Whatever we paid for, divided by the original price is going to give us 81%, right? Or 0.81. So if we have 100% original price minus 81%, it equals 19% discount. So these are just two ways. And if you guys notice, I always give you two ways to calculate. So go around the same question, right? And now, attention, this applies to every single question, not just math. Ready? It applies to every single question, not just the math ones. Approaching a tricky word problem. Have we had questions like that were tricky? Yeah, all of them, right?
Every single one.
Every single one, right? So here's what you got to do. Number one, read, obviously, but read carefully and completely, right, Mr. Fernando? Yes, read carefully and completely. I'm just messing with him, but we all do this. I'm also guilty of it, okay? I'm not going to say that I'm better than you. I'm not. Sometimes I make the same mistake. I don't read. Remember when I gave you the example of free and fee? One letter changes everything. If you speed read, you miss the whole point. So carefully and completely. Never touch the calculator, Mr. Fernando. He was doing that before. I'm starting to read and he's like, never touch the calculator until you read the entire problem. You're going to analyze the problem to determine what is being asked, what facts are given that will be needed to solve the answer, and what facts are given that will not be needed. If you guys notice from the previous questions in previous chapters, they give you extra info that's not needed. Guess what? Math is no different. So if you don't pay attention, if you start doing the math right away, what's going to happen? There's going to be one number that you don't need, that you just included in it, right? And your answer is going to be wrong. There you go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you kick everybody out of the room. Stay with me. I see you talking. Unless you're math geniuses. And by the way, even if you're a math genius, if you don't read the question, okay, I've had people in my class that go like, oh, this is what I do with math all day. I'm like, great. So what's the answer for this one? And they would fail. Why?
They read.
Hmm?
They didn't read.
They didn't read. They don't pay attention. That's what it was. All right. There's this guy who worked for 10 years for Canon in the engineering side of it. And like, he's like, oh, this is what I do, math all day. And I'm like, Mr. Math guy, go ahead. And he failed most of the questions, actually. Most of them. It's different. It's a different environment. Okay. All right. You take the remaining information and or numbers and determine which will be needed first, second, and so on. Because sometimes in the same question, you got to go 3 or 4 steps. So when do you apply something? When do you apply first, when do you apply next, and so on, okay? So the next thing you're going to do is choose the proper formulas and steps you will take to solve the problem. Insert the known elements and calculate the answer. And check your answer to be sure you keyed in the numbers and functions properly on your calculator. Be sure you finish the problem. For example, when the problem asks for salesperson's or sales associate's share of a commission, do not stop at the broker's share of the commission and mark that answer just because it's one of the choices. That's another thing I wanted to say. Sometimes out of one of the steps, one of the answers is there. If you don't read, like for instance, if it's a monthly question and they give you an annual number, they might have the annual answer. If you forgot to divide by 12, guess what you're gonna get? The wrong answer, okay? So again, we go back to details, okay? All right, how do we solve commission problems? We work, right? Isn't that what we do? How do we solve commission problems? We work. So, as used in a problem involving real estate transaction, a full commission will be a percentage of the sales price unless it's stated differently in the problem. Remember that full commission rates or commission splits between brokers and commission shares between the broker and sales associates are always negotiable. Always read a problem carefully to determine the correct rates. So, how do we calculate gross commission? What is gross commission? That's how much is paid out of the sale. That's not what you get. Pay attention because there are different steps to get to your commission. Gross commission is not what you get. It's the percentage of the sale. Then there's broker's commission. Okay. And then there's your commission. You got it? Okay. So I'm not going to go through all of these, but what I put here is all the variations of the formula. So if it's a gross commission, it's a portion. Remember this. What do we put on top? Part, portion, or net income, right? So if it's a commission, isn't a commission a slice of the whole thing? So it's a portion, right? Guys, think with me and help me out here. It's a portion, right? So because it's a part or portion, it goes on top. Where does the total sales price go? Always at the bottom. Where does rate of commission go? Always at the bottom. Okay, Jefferson. Good so far? Yes? Great. The next thing we have is all the variables of it. So sales price times commission gives you full commission rate, gives you full commission. Full commission divided by commission rate gives us sales price. Full commission divided by sales price gives us full commission. Broker's commission. It's the broker's share of the commission that we're trying to figure out. So we do the full commission or gross commission, right? Times gross commission percentage, and we get how much the office, how much the commission is going to be, okay? And all the variables. And then the salesperson is the same concept. There's a salesperson commission, gross broker's commission, and share. So let's go straight to an example. Ready? It says, a seller listed a home for $285,000 and agreed to pay a commission of 6%. So this is what we know so far. This is the sales price. This is the gross commission, 6%. The home sold a week later for 95% of listed price. Actually, this is listed price. This would be the sales price that we're trying to figure out. You see what happens when you don't read the whole thing? I was going to make the same mistake right here. So we have a listed price. It's sold for 95% of the list price. Don't use calculators yet. Read the whole thing before you use a calculator. All right. The listing broker agreed to give the selling broker 50% of the commission. There's a 50% split. The broker paid the selling associate 60%. Right? I missed one, right? And this guy got 70%. So the selling got 60%, the listing got 70%. Okay, these are all the numbers that we have. What I like to do when I'm doing the math myself, what I like to do is write it down. So we got 285. 285, this is the listed price. is sold for 95%, right? And then we got 6% commission. So you start writing down, extract all the information you guys need. Does that make sense? All right, the next one we got is we have a split of 50%. And then what each broker gave the sales associate. You doing math already? Seriously. All right, so what each broker paid. So the listing agent got 70%. The selling agent got 60%. Is this correct? Is this all the numbers we got? Okay, so it was listed for 285, but sold for 95% with a 6% commission. There was a split between the brokers of 50%. Listing agent got 70% out of that 50, and the selling agent got 60% of that 50. What are they asking? The question is, how much did the selling agents receive? See, this is why I tell you not to start touching the calculator before you read the whole thing. Because the question is, how much did this person get? Right? That's the question. So, step number one. Here goes the X bar or the steering wheel. If this was a steering wheel, it would look like this. Very simple. Same thing. Sales price on top. That's how much it's sold for. The listed price was 285. We got 95% of that as the accepted offer. How much is that? 285 times 95% is sold for 270, 750, right? I gotta check my numbers. Correct. So 270,750, that's how much it's sold for. That's step number one. Step number two is figuring out how much the commission was, gross commission, commission on the sale. So what do? We're trying to figure out gross commission, which is a portion or a part. That's why it goes on top. And it's at 6%. So times 0.06. And the gross commission was $16,000. 16,245. That's the gross commission. Everybody with me so far? Is there anybody that needs me to go back? We are on step number two. We're on step number two. Let me know if I need to go back. No? All right, step number three. This is just to show you that sometimes from the same question, we got to go several steps before we get to the answer. Step number three, if I need to figure out how much I made on the sale, I need to figure out how much was the split between the brokers. Because 6% is the total commission, but we gave 3% to the buying broker, and we kept 3% as a listing broker, right? So 50%, this is the easy one. You divide by 2 or times 50%, and you know that was the split between the brokers. That's for the brokerage, for one broker and for another broker. Now, what do you get? A percentage of this. Did you guys notice how every time this number drops down? Right? Did you guys notice? Every time? No, meaning in the X bar formula, the total, the end result becomes the total on the next one. All right? Because we're trying to figure out a percentage of the percentage of a percentage, right? So now we figured out that my broker got 8,122. My split is 60%. So how do I figure out my commission? Well, I know the broker got this. I know this is what I get because it's at the bottom. We multiply, and I got 4,173. What do you mean that's it? The sale was 200,000. It was a $200,000 sale. Come on, man. That's it? I don't know how much you make on a single job, but come on. Jeez. The average commission, so you guys know, the average commission is like $6,000.
Per sale.
Average. Those numbers, I want to keep it at those numbers, even though they went up with the market, obviously, but the market is slowly coming down. So let's keep the average of $6,000. Okay. Your goal, your ultimate goal is obviously to make more than one sale a month. But I said that's the average sale. If you guys make one sale a month, I can guarantee you, you're going to make an average of 10K. Average. Why? Because some sales will give you 20K. Some sales will give you 15K. Some sales will just give you 3K. Okay. So some of my agents, that's what they make, close to $10,000 or around there
Or a sale.
a month. It just depends on how much you work. You have to understand this job does not depend on me. It's just like learning. It depends on you and what you want to do. You want to be distracted by everything? Hey, you'll never make a sale. You want to be laser focused? Oh yeah, you're going to make sales. Does that make sense? I cannot control. It's not like a salary job where I say, hey, you make $20 an hour. You work, I pay you. You work, I pay you. No. You make as much as you want. All right. And I'll tell you right now, I have people that don't make not even one sale. Why? They're not committed.
Do you have a cap,
What do you mean?
like a commission cap?
Like the max that you can
Like the
get?
max that you can make?
No, you can make $1 million in a year if you want. It all depends on you. What type of sale? Like one of my agents just got a listing for 5.8 million.
In Newark?
No,
Oh, I was gonna say.
but it's also a commercial building, so it doesn't matter. But regardless, 5.8 million. Yeah,
I'll calculate that right now.
you can calculate it. You know the drill.
What's the split? Just hypothetical.
Let's go with an average split of 70%.
No.
And let's say the commission rate is going to be 2.5%.
And it's 5.8 million?
Let's say 2.5% comes to the brokerage. The agent, let's say, gets 70.
So you said, what's the total commission, the full commission? 6%?
No, do 2.5.
Oh,
Yeah, because 6% is out of the sale. What if I just bring the buyer or I'm the listing agent only? Somebody else brings a buyer, you know? So let's do 2.5.
it's 145,000,
How much is it?
145,000. And then what's the split?
70% of that.
101,000.
101,000 in one sale. You see my point? No, but do you see my point, guys? You make this happen, not me. Okay? You make it happen, not me. Some agents dedicate themselves to be $1 million agents, but it takes a lot of work because before you get known in that type of market, it'll take a while. And you got a lot of remember when you were talking about it and I said, careful with Coldwell Banker in that area, because that's where, yeah, it's difficult, very difficult. So the point still becomes that I have people that go after the $100,000 and $200,000 homes. Let's put it like that, meaning very low. I have the ones that go for the higher end. I have the ones that go to commercial. You have to find your niche and what are you willing to go for. And then in the midst of this, some of them are going to be very profitable and others are not. But that's why you got to do more than one. You got it? This particular person that got the 5.8 million listing, this particular person is working so hard. She did in 2 years what a lot of agents do in like 10 years. And I only have one other agent that's like that. We have 70 agents, guys. 70 agents. I only have 2 that work like there's no tomorrow. And you know what? There's no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. If you don't make it, there's no tomorrow. Now, she's at the point, just so you guys know, she's at the point where she's reinvesting in her business. Like now she's paying for marketing like nonstop. She's in the scale mode right now. She has an assistant now. She has a somebody do marketing for her now. She's at the scaling point. In the beginning, you work hard to establish the basics. Once you understand the basics, you got to scale. That's how you make the money. And she works. Oh, I can't tell you right now. I will when we get out there. But that's what it is, guys. And another thing is, she works with a team. So you kind of want to be part of a team, because doing everything by yourself sucks. You make all the money, yes, but it sucks. So what she does is gives out to her team, gives leads to her team. Whatever she gets, now that she's known in the market, she goes like, hey, you, let's go. Boom. And works together with them. Does that make sense? All right. So working as a team. We don't, by the way, our office doesn't have like the traditional teams, like they're out there. We're a little different. But it's working well. You know, 2 years. She's going to be 3 years now in March or April. 3 years. And she makes well over 100,000 right now. She's going to go for a broker's, yeah. All right. Let's see. If I'm looking for more agents, can I hire all of you? So I'll put it this way. I cannot recruit or promote anything. You're more than welcome to interview with us, but I cannot directly say, hey, come. Because you are asking, yes, we can interview. But I still recommend, it wouldn't be fair to you, I still recommend you to go and interview with other brokerages. Okay? You want to interview with us? No problem. I still recommend interview with other brokerages, because look, you might not be fit for us. Meaning what you're trying to do is not what we're looking for. Or we might not be fit for you. I've had people that were looking for commercial. We're not too focused on commercial. So I said, hey, can't help you. But I recommended another place for them to go. Does that make sense? So that's another thing. Don't just fall into an agency. Oh, but my friend works there. Or because you're comfortable with me right now. Like, don't do that. That's a big mistake. You got to go to the agency that fits your needs. You got it? I would love to hire everybody. I got no problem with that. But it wouldn't make sense if it's not what you're looking for. Right? And that's the biggest difference between us and other agencies, is that if we're not a fit for you, we'll tell you right away. We turned down a couple of people because of that. Like, one wanted to be investments only, focus on investments, and this is right at the beginning of the agency. So we said, hey, we're not focused on investments right now, so I can recommend a couple of places, and we did. Right? Others were commercial, like I said. That's what you have to do. Go look for what you're looking for.
I was just thinking, what a commercial exam that does come up about, like, let's say you presently work for a broker,
Mhm.
and it's an agent selling homes once for a family, but if you want to go into commercial, do you stay there or do you go somewhere else? Like, I don't know, I'm saying it correctly, but it's something to that.
So to answer that easily, there's no commercial license. So let's start with that. New Jersey real estate license allows you to have to do everything real estate, because it says real estate. It doesn't say your license is not a residential real estate license. It's not a commercial real estate license. Now, what I can tell you is, if your brokerage is not focused on commercial and your client is looking for commercial, yeah, maybe it's not the best for your client. The same way that I just said, maybe we're not the best for you if that's what you're looking for. And we don't do commercial. We are getting into it slowly. We're starting to get our division for that. Eventually we'll get property management and all that, but we're still growing. We only have like 3 years as an agency. We have more years of experience, but as a New Direction Realty, 3 years. So, well, it's going to be 4 years actually. Sorry, January is going to be 4 years. But you see what I'm saying? For your client, you also have to do the best. So what I can tell you is, if your agency does not do commercial and your client wants something that you definitely have no experience, or your broker, your job should be to contact somebody with experience, even outside the office, and you do the referral, or you ask to work together. Does that make sense? Because you have to do what's best for your client, and that would be the answer in the state exam.
Okay.
Do what's best for your client, so work with somebody else to achieve your client's goals. Got it? The answer in the school or state exam. Yes. The answer in the state exam. All right, guys, let's see what else we got here before we move forward.
Break?
Yeah,
Who said that?
before the break, yes. Steven says 1% of something is better than 6% of nothing. Absolutely, 100%. Milton, when the listing broker and the selling broker come from the same office, the broker gets commission out of both transactions, of course. So Milton, what will happen is I get the 30% that's from your commission as the listing agent. And then let's say Jefferson brings a buyer, I get 30% of that. So the brokerage gets that percentage, yeah. Mhm. You still get the bulk of it, you still get more. But yeah, if it's within the same office, a seller, agent and a buyer's agent, the broker gets still the split, no matter what.